Guys, this is the year I have finally decided to start my own booktube channel. I am so excited. Okay, so we are going to start off by doing a 2024 reading wrap up. On this channel, I'm going to talk about all things writing, all things reading, all that fun stuff. To start off, you guys, what I'm drinking, I just got this cup yesterday from TJ Maxx. It is so cute. My grandpa is from England and he came up with this recipe. Well, he didn't come up with it, but it's literally just tea with sugar and milk. But it's this tea right here, you guys. It is so good. If you have not tried it, you have to have it. So for my 2024 reads, I only read 20 books last year, you guys. I am not going to be a booktuber that reads 156 books a year. That is just not who I am. I just do not really have the time. As much as I would love to, it's just not me. But last year I did read 20 books. We were going to go through the good, the bad, and the ugly. Also, I'm not a very hard to please reader, I would say. So a lot of these, it's going to be good reviews, but there are a couple where I'm like, that was the worst book I ever read in my entire life. And I might even throw in a couple that I did not finish. Starting off in January, you guys, I read 5 books in January of 2024, and it was the ACOTAR series. If you have not read the ACOTAR series and you were like, I just can't see myself getting into fantasy, this is the first set of fantasy books that I have gotten into. When I tell you, I ate up every single last crumb. It was so good. Just give it a try. Just give it a try. Me telling somebody to read the ACOTAR series is giving, I'm not new to the industry. You are. Because I feel like everybody has read it, but we can still talk about it. So book 1, yes, I loved it. That's why I read literally all 5 in 1 month. Guys, I remember telling my friend at work, I was like, oh my goodness, Tamlin, what about Tamlin? Yeah. I gave A Court of Thorns and Roses, I gave it 5 stars. And then I read A Court of Mist and Fury. You guys, this book changed everything for me. Literally, I thought it was so amazing. I gave it a 5 out of 5. I gave the last one a 5 out of 5. A Court of Mist and Fury was even more, a 5 out of 5. Guys, chapter 55. You just had to be there. For my people that did read it, when it said, then eat, Sarah J. Maas literally ate. Then I read, of course, A Court of Wings and Ruin. I thought it was good. Honestly, looking back, I don't really remember it that good. This is good because this means I get to reread them again. I remember someone told me that the pacing was a little bit slow. I thought it was good. Like I said, I don't remember it that good, so I'm going to have to go back. But I did rate it 5 out of 5. In a second, I'm going to grab my journal because I literally made a whole journal page about A Court of Thorns and Roses. The 4th book, it was called A Court of Frost and Starlight. When I tell you, it was a cute little read. Honestly, I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars because it was just like a cute little read in between like all this heavy work of writing. I liked it, but I didn't love it. I think I just was like already in the mood for so much pizzazz was going on. When I read it, I was like, oh, that's cute. Give me more, you know? If that makes sense. That's a hot take. And then, of course, I read A Court of Silver Flames. Love Nesta. People are, like, diehard fans for Nesta. I really like her, but I'm not, like, a diehard fan, you know? People are like, the 5th book was my favorite, Team Nesta. I love her, but I'm not obsessed. Not obsessed with her like I am with Rhysand. Literally, on Valentine's Day, my husband was like, I love you as much as you love Rhysand. I read One Italian Summer by Rebecca Serrell. I gave it a 3 out of 5. So basically it's about this girl. She goes to, I think, Italy. It's literally called One Italian Summer. That's so embarrassing. Anyways, she goes to Italy and basically she meets her younger mom. Like, her mom has passed away, but when she goes to Italy, she meets her younger mom. It's kind of a cool little concept. I gave it a 3 out of 5 because I was reading A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I don't think you can go from reading A Court of Thorns and Roses to One Italian Summer and just give it and, like, expect that book to be 5 out of 5 stars, you know? Like, the writing doesn't compare, but it was a cute little fun read. I read The Notebook for maybe the 13th time by Nicholas Sparks. I started reading it in 6th grade because it was my Grandma Jake's favorite book. And I was like, okay. And then I read it every single year since. Like, literally every single year I have read The Notebook. I think The Notebook is so good, 10 out of 10. It is such a quick read. It is 1,000 out of 10 stars. It is a classic. It is nostalgic. That is my book that if I am not feeling good and I'm just like, life isn't doing it for me, The Notebook will do it for me. I read The Uglies by Scott Westerfield. You guys, I didn't know that they were going to make this a movie, but they did. It was something. I did not like the acting from David. I don't know. I just didn't think his acting was good. But I did read this book and I thought it was really good, but I didn't love it enough to read the second book right away, but I do want to circle around and get to reading that. If only I had told her. Okay, the first one, If He Had Been With Me, guys, I gave that like a 2 stars. I did not like that book at all. I know Book Talk was like, oh my goodness, this is the saddest book in the world. I just couldn't get behind it. So to me, repetitive, like he said, she said, the tiaras, it was doing too much, I think. When I read If Only I Had Told Her, I loved that book. Wait, let me see what I rated it. I ended up rating that a 4 stars, but I really enjoyed it compared to the first one. I'm actually glad I did read the second one because Miss Laura had her come back in that book, to me. Even though like everybody thought she was already back with that one, she had a comeback for me personally in that second one. Next one, One True Love. The plot line of this book, you guys, absolutely insane. So basically her husband gets stuck on like an island or something. He's stuck on an island, so he's gone forever. She moves on, dates somebody else, and then her husband or whatever, maybe a couple years later, gets off the island. So basically she has to choose between her husband and the new person that she's with, but she's been with this like new person for a pretty long time now because like her husband, she thought he was just gone with the wind. Honestly, it was an interesting read, and I love Taylor Jenkins' read, Seven Husbands. Loved that book. This one, I liked it, but I didn't love it. Earlier, when I started this video, I'm like, I'm not a hard-to-please reader. I feel like I'm going through these books, I'm like, I'm not sure if I loved it. If you're just looking for a fast, quick, easy read, something interesting, that will give that to you, but it's not going to be a book that you're thinking about for the rest of your life. Although I do think about it sometimes because I'm like, if I'm ever stuck on an island and my husband moves on, like he better choose me, because if he doesn't, there's gonna be some problems. The next book is The Housemaid's Secret. I loved The Housemaid's Secret was also very good. The Housemaid, you guys, I read, I think maybe in 2023. I read that in one night. I read it going into the new year, because I remember I got back from the New Year's party and my husband was like, are you going to bed? I was like, no, I literally need to finish this book. First one was like 10 out of 5 stars. The second one was also very, very, very good, and I'm not picking up the third one because a lot of people said it was disappointing, and I just don't want to be left on such a disappointing note. Also, you guys, I am so excited for the movie. Miss Sydney Sweeney is going to be in there. This is going to be amazing. Like, this is going to be, if they ruin this movie, I'm going to be so upset. I really hope they don't ruin this movie. This was my self-help book era. I read You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. I thought it was good. Once you get past the part where Jen is calling you a weenie like 38 times in the first 4 pages, she's like, stop being a weenie. Like, once you get past that, the messages are good. I think that I need to read it again to really cling on to it, but I remember reading it and feeling motivated. The next one, guys, I was just reading bad books in this time. So first I'm going to tell you guys the book that I did not finish, The Lessons in Chemistry. I don't know, something about it, you guys. Something about it. I know they made it an Apple TV show. It's not good. Also, guys, if they made like ACOTAR or Throne of Glass or Fourth Wing into a movie or a show, they better do it as good as Harry Potter. Because Harry Potter, the movies ate so hard, and I feel like they did a good representation. If they're gonna take one of these books and put it on screen, then they better get that same casting crew, because Harry Potter was so good. I think the most terrible book that I have ever read that I just don't like, Rich Dad Poor Dad. He will literally be in his interviews and he will be like, if you didn't like my book, that means you didn't understand it. I understood that book and I hated it. I hated that book. It was just not good. But I'm not discouraging you from reading it because a lot of people are obsessed with that book and it says they're changed their life. But for me personally, like, it just didn't hit the spot. Like, I was just like, no thanks. But a lot of people said it's a life-changing book. So that's up to you to decide if it's life-changing for you or if you just are like, it's not that good. I got into the book that changed my life, Fourth Wing. Who was gonna tell me that it was so good? Zayden. I didn't ever think I could like anybody more than Resand. Zayden. If you have not read Fourth Wing and you're like, I do not want to read a book about dragons, you're like, I cannot read a book about dragons, actually, you're like, that's crazy. Just get past that. Just don't even care that they're dragons, okay? Because if you told me in 2022 you're like, read this book about dragons, I would have been like, no thank you. But it's not even about that, you guys. It is so, so good. If you guys have not read it, let this be your sign. Right after that, you guys, Iron Flame. Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, back to back. I still have Onyx Storm to read this year, but I am so nervous. It is literally just sitting on my bookshelf because once it's over, you guys, I don't know if I can wait 2 years. At least if it's on my terms to pick it up, I feel better. But the fact that if it's left on a cliffhanger and I don't know what's going on, I don't know if my heart can take that. Twisted Love. I think I gave this a 3 out of 5 stars. The ending, I was just like, I did not love it. A lot of people love this series. I liked it. I thought it was cute. I read it quick, but I didn't love it. Some things in there, I was just like, this is kind of suspicious. But also, my least favorite trope is Sunshine Grumpy. Like, Grumpy Sunshine. I just don't really like it. I think it's just like, it's either overdone or it's not done right. I think she did it right. Maybe it's just a little overdone for me. I don't know. My favorite trope is enemies to lovers, and then I love friends to lovers. I'm writing a book and it's friends to lovers, and I'm so excited. So if you guys like that trope, get ready, because it is also going to be a very sad book that you will need to be having a box of tissues. My Roman Empire books I read in 2024. Well, partially in 2024, partially in 2025. The Boys of Tommen series. I started with Binding 13, you guys. Obviously, that's the first book in the series. Dude, I need to get better at this, okay? I started with Binding 13, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, I remember, because in the beginning, it kept saying how the main character, Shannon, was so little, like, she was, like, such a tiny girl, but when you realize why they say it so much, the book becomes incredible. I have never fallen in love with characters more than I have in the Boys of Tommen series. Also, in 2024, I read Keeping 13, which is the second book, and then I read Saving 6, which was the third book, you guys. Keeping 13, I loved so much. Way better than Binding 13. Wasn't way better because Binding 13 was fabulous, but Keeping 13 was beautiful. And then Saving 6, from 2 other different perspectives, was so good, you guys. I know I didn't read Redeeming 6 in 2024. It broke my heart so bad, you guys. I was listening to it at work, was flipping pancakes in the morning because I'm a cook. I was flipping pancakes in the morning and I had tears rolling down my face just casually. Like, I was like, how do I tell somebody that my heart is breaking right now? If you want a book that is going to make you laugh so hard, cry even harder, literally feel like you were a part of it, like you know the characters personally, the Boys of Tommen series, please just start it. Please just start it. The audiobooks, I read them for free on Hoopla. They talk in their accent, and for me that just like really fully immersed me into the world, and it was so good. Like, I am even having my mom read it and she's like, Jersey, I'm dying laughing. If you guys follow me on TikTok, which it's right here, or Instagram, all my TikToks have been about them recently. I just die laughing. And there is a scene on there. This will be the cover, you guys. And then finally, wrapping up the year, the last book that I read in 2024 was Throne of Glass. I am starting the Throne of Glass series. Right now I'm on Crown of Midnight. It's very good so far. I chose to read it the emotional route versus reading it the, the chronological order route. So good. I think Sarah J. Maas is just a really talented writer. Also, fantasy has been my jam. Also, speaking of Boys of Tommen again, I just got this limited edition exclusive copy from Barnes & Noble. I'm literally studying it. I am studying this book. Why? Like, I need to understand why I loved it so much. So I'm writing down. So, like, this is how I'm tabbing it. Like, in here, I'm writing when a new character is introduced, when there's banter, humor, dialogue, internal dialogue, description, and emotion. Because I want to know, like, what did she put in here for, like, this book to be so addicting. I don't know how you guys annotate your books. Maybe comment below how you do annotate them. Honestly, I need to watch other booktubers to see what videos they do, because I haven't really watched any. I just knew that I wanted to talk about books on here. So I think I'm going to research, and then I will be doing some more videos, you guys. But that was my 2024 reading wrap up. Thank you guys all for watching. If you guys want to see more, like and subscribe. But even if you don't, I'm going to keep posting anyway.